Welcome to the Nomad Post. As we all know, we are playing Nottingham Forest next away at the City Ground. This is the third game consecutive we are playing away, and I think we have another one, Inter Milan, coming up in the Champions League. The previous two, I think we have done well performance wise. It wasn't bad, it wasn't excellent, it was just, you know, maintaining well just at the middle. So, as far as Nottingham Forest is concerned, we are traveling to the City Ground where it has been a nightmare for us and a couple of seasons ago, where they make us or they forced us to drop a point, 3 points. That was very crucial for the title, and I think that was the day Manchester City were crowned champions, and they were able to get away from relegation. Also, they were fighting for something, and I guess they needed more than us. That's why we ended up losing. So going to the City Ground, it's not an easy thing for us, considering the way we have been going to away for the last two games, traveling to Chelsea, traveling to Portsmouth. Again, we are going to another away tomorrow. So that fixture will be very, very crucial for us. If we nick that 3 point, I think it will be very good boost because it will be three away consecutive away games we have won, and then the Champions League going to San Siro with a good momentum. I think it will be good for us. So as far as the game is concerned, I think Mikel has already talked about the possible, absentees and what we can expect tomorrow. And also, we all know what we expect from Sean Dyche. Sometimes he can decide to play very low block, and it is difficult. It will be difficult for them to be broken down. And the thing is, they are already at home, and then they try to play a low block. So it will be very difficult for us. I hope they will come out the way Nottingham Forest usually play with Hudson Odoi and Anderson and all of them trying to play the ball, trying to come at us. I think that will be, very good for us, considering we do well when teams come at us. But if they try to sip deep and it's away, it will be very tough for us. But we always have a plan B. That's the thing that I love about Mikel Arteta. He always have that, next gear for these low block teams this season, and that is one of the things that it's characteristics of champions or champions to be. Of course, we don't deserve to be called champions at this point because we haven't won it last season, or rather the last 20 something seasons. So, but that is the characteristics of someone who really needs to win, because you need to find a way to win at the end of the day. Get that 3 points. So, see, we'll be playing City Ground, and the match officials will be Michael Oliver, and we know what that guy does whenever we are playing a very crucial game, you know. And since Manchester City is playing ahead of us, it will be, at the center of attention. Maybe they win, and we are just 3 points ahead of them, and they will sitting somewhere trying to, you know, to hit watch and make sure that we drop some points. And those are the kind of games which Michael Oliver really likes, because we all know he likes the attention, and we know he's a City fan. So this has to give the players and Mikel reasons to make sure that they get that early goal and maintain it. Getting early goal and coming at them consistently is what we want. But you get a goal and you try to sit back and try to control the game. I think one goal is not enough, and that we should know because we have experienced this so many times. We try to, go ahead of the game with one goal, and they come back, and again you try you try to build from behind. You try to, dig deep, dig deep, dig deep, and it's already too late. So I really want us to go from the get go, get that one goal, make it to try to force them to come out, counter attack them, counter press them, everything. So I think it will be good. And if we will win tomorrow and perhaps Man City drop point, I think it will be very massive, but we cannot consider, or we cannot look at the rivals, or rather the guy who is behind you. You need to compete with yourself, because it is you who will, at the end of the day, give the other guy chance. If you become consistent, if you chase it up to the last point of the game, hungry, 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 I think it will be good. But if you try to say that, Man City are playing, we are just 3 point ahead, we are 6 point ahead, I don't think it will be good for us. So as far as the team news and lineup is concerned, I think Mikel will just or almost play like this. The big boys has to come in already. They were there in the game against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. I think the only guy here that I added is Miles, because I think Miles has to come in, because we have to manage Benny Blanco, because Benny Blanco is very, very important for us in the attacking phase of the game, obviously. But he's becoming injury prone for the last, one season, and this season he cannot play 2-3 games consecutively. So to manage him, I think Lewis Kelly will come in, but I think also Hincapie he's 50-50 available. Calafiori is still missing, of course. McDormand is still missing. As far as the front line is concerned, at this point, I really, really don't care who starts and who doesn't start, because as long as Rice and Zubimendi are part of that attacking team, I think we can control the game. We can attack with pace. We can, press and also win the second balls and third balls, everything, because of Rice and Zubimendi. So that is my predicted lineup. I think this is a very strong lineup. Bukayo Saka, Gyökeres, Trossard, Rice, Odegaard, everything is good. If he decides to start Martinelli at the left side, it's okay still, as long as we deliver. I think we don't care who starts. It's either Jesus or Havertz or Eze. But the moment you're given chance, go grab that chance, please. I'm sure they know that, and that's something that they are counting on. So, but if it were up to me, I think Joker is getting a good momentum, and I will really play Ben White instead of Timber and give a Timber a breather, because I think he's been the most consistent guy in our team, and in my opinion, no one can come close to replace him. So remember, Gabriel and Saliba were out the game against Villa, and I think another few games. On Gabriel was missing for almost 2-3 weeks. Saliba also was missing at the start of the season, and Hincapie and Miskera came in, and they were almost playing well. They were almost maintaining the class of these two. But trust me, no one will even come close to Jurien Timber. So it's very important to protect Timber. He played 90 against Chelsea. He was very solid. I think that's the only game that he was given, hard time by Estaval. So if he start Benny Blanco there and Lewis Kelly on the left, still we are a strong team. And I think with Ben White going forward a lot, bringing that ball on Silva Plata, it will really, really give Gyökeres a lot of opportunities and chances. And the way also Ben White overlaps, just the game against Chelsea, remember, Bukayo Saka cut in, waiting for Ben White to overlap, and then give Ben White 45. Very simple ball, very easy ball. But Timber, he doesn't do that. He doesn't overlap. Instead, he inverts and goes in between Saka and the number. He always plays number 10. When he attacks, he goes between Saka and Gyökeres and try to create the link there. But these low block teams, I think the best way to beat them is with Benny Blanco. That overlapping fullback, because the moment he is on side, I think everything is just a millisecond away to become a good ball. So that is my lineup, and my score prediction. This is my score prediction. I think we will concede a goal at least because we are playing away and it's not easy. It's not easy to play in those areas. So this is my score prediction. I think we will concede, as I said few minutes earlier. But I think we will get that win. We have to get it. There's no excuse because tomorrow is one of those days that the pressure will be there. You know, I'm sure, no offense to Manchester United, but if we just, probability, I'm sure it's favoring Manchester City. And the moment they win comfortably, it will be hard for us if we are the same team we were 2 seasons ago. So we have to be those guys. We have to be, get the opportunity because if Man City tomorrow win against Manchester United, it will be just 3 points. And again, if we extend the point back to 6 points, I think they will know this time it's no joke. But the moment we start bad against Nottingham Forest and we just 3 points ahead, I think it will be very, very difficult for us. So this is my final score prediction, and I hope we get clean sheet. I pray we get clean sheet. And as far as the transfer news is concerned, I think Manchester City have signed McGahey and Semenyo. They have made use of this transfer window. And just few seasons ago, I think the leave last season, the other season, at this point we were 5 points. We were 5 points ahead with some game in hand, and Manchester City ended up winning the league with 5 points. So it is very early, of course. It is very early, but you need to come with signs and symptoms that maybe this is your time, the lacks. Because I think by now we need to know that we've been lucky a couple of times, getting some on goals and set piece goals. So if this is the next 5 fixtures for both Manchester City and Arsenal. We are playing Nottingham Forest next, which will be very tough, by the way, because this is the third game we are going away from home, traveling. The boys are tired. They played a very, very tough away fixture at the Bridge, which was London Derby. But now you have a good squad, Mikel. You have a broad squad. There's no reason for you to say that there's a fatigue in the squad because Zubimendi rested the other game. He just played against Chelsea. Rice rested the other game. He plays against Chelsea. Martinelli is Madueke. Everybody, you always get that one or 3-4 guys that can come in and do something. So I think this game of Nottingham Forest will be very tough for us. Again, Manchester are coming home. Manchester United are coming home. Always big game. You always expect a very, very difficult game because it's a big game. But the one that I think if we win convincingly is this Southampton game because the previous season, the likes of Fulham and Aston Villa used to, we drop point in the first game and then we meet them the second game and still we drop point. So you need to make statement. We drop point against Southampton at their home. Come Emirates, you need to dominate them. You need to show them who's actually, superior. So that game, I'm really, really waiting for that game. And again, we go to Brentford away. So this on paper, I think on paper it's not that much difficult. And so I hope we will do well. But everything will depend with this fixture of Manchester City because if we check the both teams, I think we have the more simpler games. If you check for Manchester City, I think it is more difficult for them on paper, of course. We know Spurs and Manchester United are not what they used to be, and they cannot. I respect more Chelsea because Chelsea are not good like Arsenal or Manchester City or Liverpool. They are not considered title-winning team. They are. But now when they get the chance to drop someone's point, they will do it. They dropped a point against us. They did against Manchester City. But now Manchester United and Tottenham are unpredictable. You cannot just assume this is a big game, and they just play the game. So I am really hoping, as I said this earlier, that we cannot focus on Manchester City's fixture. We are just comparing, of course, yes. But if we win our fixtures, I don't think there's a big game in our side, only Manchester United, of which we are playing home, and we have to do well. We have been good this season at the Emirates, and before the game starts, we should already have that momentum and hype and hope that this is home. We cannot lose. So you either go and win or win, because we can't afford to drop any point. For Manchester City, that is the fixtures. It's very, very surprising. They are going away at Manchester United. They are going away at Spurs. They are going away at Liverpool. So if Manchester City really, really do, they win all these 5 fixtures, I think we have a very, very tough run in. And again, it is Mikel versus his teacher. And since he has outplayed us 2 seasons in a row, I think this is the time. We have a better squad. We have experienced players. Of course, they were competing for the last 3 seasons. There's no any injury as of now, and I hope it stays that way. In our front line, maybe back line, Hincapié, Calafiori, they will be back, of course. It's not far, as Mikel said earlier today in his press. So if they win these 5 games, Manchester City, it will be a very, very crazy ride in, and I can't wait for it, because we want to win the league. We want to win a competitive league. Go to the final day, show them you can do it, because at the end of the day, if you win in a hard way, the players will come next season with a lot of momentum, morale. That's what they used to do to Liverpool, because they end up winning with 1 point. The next season they come, they are much stronger. Guardiola, he always improves his team. He always brings some people in. So I think that is a very, very tough fixture for Manchester City on paper. But of course, they are Manchester City, and we don't know, the way things will go. And they have added Semenyo and Gehi. Maybe they will transform the team. Of course, Semenyo is a good player. He was doing well at Brentford, and maybe he will do the same at Manchester City. Of course, he's doing the same. He has scored already 3 goals, I think, or 2 goals in the Carabao Cup and FA Cup. Tomorrow he'll be facing Manchester United for the first time in Manchester City colours. So as far as we are concerned, I think we have more favorable fixture to Manchester City, and we have more favorable squad. So it's about pushing without thinking about the other game. Let's focus on Nottingham Forest. After Forest, game by game, game by game, game by game. At the end of the day, we will be where we want to be. So for score prediction, already I've done it. Thank you very much for tuning in. I think I am done. I think I've already covered everything. Let me know your thoughts, your match predictions. Who will win the league? Out of those 5 fixtures, how many fixtures can we really, really get it? And is this our year? So thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate. And as always, please engage more, comment, like, and follow the channel. Thank you very much.